Hi, this is Paul Sheldon, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kahoot today. Kahoot is a website that allows teachers to create quizzes that students can then play competitively in class through their iPhones or iPads or other smart devices. I'm going to run you through one real quick before we get into all of the various options. To show you what it looks like. So on this screen on the right side in the purple, we have what the teacher would essentially see on their computer or iPad as they host the game. On the left, in the smartphone image in the yellow, we have what the student would see on their phone. So here I have created already a quick two-question quiz called Hamlet, and I'm going to show you what it looks like as a teacher to host this on the right side, and then what it's like on the left side for the students to play it. So I'm going to choose classic mode so that each student would be playing on their own device individually. And so after I've started as the teacher the quiz on the Kahoot website, I'm given a code, and I give that code to the students who then enter it on their devices. In this case, 1969463. Students enter the code, and they're instructed to create a nickname. I would strongly suggest you tell students to use some form of their own name, both for purposes of data collection and to make sure nobody uses an inappropriate or embarrassing name. After students have entered their name, just click OK Go and you're set to go. Teachers will be given a count and shown who is logged in, and you simply wait until the number of players equals the number of students in your class, and at that point you can start the game. Starting the game triggers the questions. They advance manually by the teacher unless you've set it to automatically advance. So here's the first question, which is projected on the screen by the teacher. Whose skull does Hamlet hold? Accompanied by dramatic music and a countdown timer, which is customizable. In this case, it was 20 seconds. So I'm going to choose the green, Yorick. And the student sees an indication their answer is correct. Timing matters as well, so I get a little bonus points perhaps for choosing quickly or not so much for choosing slowly. I advance to the next slide, and students are given a ranking of scores for those playing in the class. Next question. What happens to Ophelia? As you can see, you can insert images and GIFs into the question. Also YouTube videos to watch. I'm going to choose, in this case, she falls out of a tree and drowns. So students choose the color and or geometric symbol that matches the answer on their device. The results are communicated to the website. The rankings are done on a question-by-question basis, and at the end, the top 3 students are called out. First place, second place, third place, and then you can also display all student data. Teachers will need a laptop and or iPad with access to the Kahoot website in order to create the quizzes and host the games. Students will play this on a smartphone, and as indicated when you're given your initial code, you can either join the game by going manually to the website at www.kahoot.it or with the Kahoot app, which is available to students to upload on their devices. As the teacher, the first thing to do is to visit the Kahoot website and create an account. Simply going into a browser, typing Kahoot would take you there. Choose Kahoot, and then choose Login, and it will give you the option to create an account. Mine auto-logged in under mine. One of the options will be to choose whether or not to go to Kahoot Pro or go to the free version of Kahoot. This video is based on the free version. The Pro version offers many different options, which you can see indicated by a little crown on the option. So after you've created your login ID and your password, you're taken to your home page. And the first thing that you will want to know how to do is to either create or find existing quizzes. The first thing that you can do from the home page is go to the Discover tab and search for existing Kahoots. Kahoot quizzes exist. They're teacher created and they're shared voluntarily. So I can find Kahoots about Hamlet by searching for Hamlet. And I'll see pre-existing content, 25 questions, 55 questions, a number of different questions and formats made by teachers already. These may be good to use as is or good to use with modifications. So finding what other teachers have done is the first option in terms of locating content that may be appropriate for your students. The second major function for a teacher in using Kahoot is to create their own Kahoot quizzes. So to do that, moving over to the right, click the button labeled Create. And it's the creation process is fairly intuitive. Many of these options, as you'll see, there are different templates. Create and teach interactive lessons, teach with slides, Kahoots for formative assessment, practice spelling, student selfie Kahoot. Many of these are Kahoot Pro version options, which you can tell from the little crown. I'm just going to choose New Kahoot Create for a basic Kahoot creation. And I'm given the quiz template. So there's a number of different fields on this. The first and most important is to name your Kahoot at the top. So enter Kahoot title. I'm going to name it. I'm going to call this one Hamlet. I can write a description here, Kahoot about Hamlet, which students can see, or other teachers if you indicate that you're willing to share it. You can provide it with a cover image, which you can either use from a pre-existing image library at Kahoot or upload your own image. So I'm going to upload my own image of Yorick, and this will be on the front splash. I'll save it to my Kahoots. You can organize your Kahoot library by class or through other subdivisions. And then I'm going to click Done. So I've created a Kahoot quiz named Hamlet, and now I need to put in some questions. The first question here is a multiple choice question. I'm going to type whose skull does Hamlet talk to? Question mark. I can again upload an image. I'll upload that same image. York. I can choose the time limit on questions, here defaulting to 20 seconds. I can choose the number of points that the question is worth relative to others. I'm going to keep it at the default for 1,000 points. And I can choose the answer options, which is single select, where you can select only one of the answers, and that is what is available for the free version of Kahoot. If you have the pro version, you can have multiple answers selected before submission. I'm going to keep it on single select since I have only the free version. And here's where you type your answers. So Bill, Fred, Yorick, which is the correct answer, and Sam. And I indicate the correct answer by putting a check mark here. You'll notice that you can add images to an answer instead of text. So if you were, for example, a math teacher, you could put an image of a formula. History teacher, you could put different images of people. Whatever works. And that adds the question to the question pool. To create another question, I can type add question. Again, I'm given a number of different options. I could use a multiple choice format, which is what we just did, true or false. The remainder, open-ended, puzzle, poll, and slide are pro version questions. So with the free version, you get the multiple choice and the true and false. So I can type Ophelia falls out of a tree and drowns as a question. A true or false statement. I can upload an image. Ophelia. This time it's a GIF, which is fine. In terms of managing images, you may have to crop things to use up all the available screen real estate. So there's a crop button, and I can expand this, zoom it in, save, and then indicate the right answer, in this case, true. Once you're done with all of your questions, you've added all of the multiple choice or true and false questions, you can click Done. There are a couple other options here. Question Bank is a searchable bank of pre-existing questions. So I can type what happens to Ophelia and search. And there are a number of people who've created different Kahoots about Hamlet, including the one that I created as a sample for this video. You can also import slides as an advanced feature if you've got Kahoot Pro, or import a spreadsheet. Importing a spreadsheet requires you to first download the Kahoot template. You can fill it in with questions and answers, and then drag and drop it in here, and it will automatically fill out the appropriate types of questions and create the Kahoot. That might be a very efficient way of doing large quizzes. So I'm going to click Done, and that is the basic Kahoot quiz creation process. As you save it, you'll see that you have an option to test it, to play it, or to share it with others. I can click on Test, then I'm immediately brought to that test screen that we saw initially. Playing Kahoot, as the teacher, you will navigate to your Kahoot homepage. On the right, you'll have a list of your Kahoots named My Kahoots, and here's Hamlet. I'm going to click on that. And to host a game, I just click Play, and I'm given a number of different options. The first option is whether I'm going to play this to teach. This is me in front of a large group of students. We're all going to play together. Or perhaps in distance learning, I'm going to assign it. So people are going to play by themselves at their own pace and not together in a competitive format. So I'm going to choose Teach on the theory that I'm going to have everyone play at the same time. And the first option is Classic versus Team Mode. Classic is simply every player plays individually. Each player has their own device and answers in their own answers to the different questions. The other is Teams, where groups of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 students will play on a single device. They'll name their own team and play effectively as one person. Game options are listed below. Personalized learning is a Kahoot Pro option. There's a friendly nickname generator to just generate nicknames for folks to avoid inappropriate nicknames. I leave this off and have students use some version of their own name for data collection. You can choose the lobby music you prefer, the pre-game music. You can choose to randomize the order of the questions or the order of the answers. So if you want to make all the correct answers A, you could click this and it'll randomize them so students don't see all answers as being A. And you can show minimized introduction instructions. Some advanced features are a 2-step joining process, a little bit more security in the login process. You could have it automatically move through questions as opposed to having the teacher initiate the next question. And then an option to rejoin after every game. Simply choose one of the 2 modes. I'm going to choose Classic. Here's what the teacher sees at the start of the game. Here's the code to provide to students, which they then enter into their devices. You'll see it states waiting for players at the bottom. As players join, their names will populate here, and then the number of players will increase. And at the point at which you have all students participating, you can click the Start button on the right to start the game. going to take you through is called Reports. So here I'm at the home screen for my Kahoot account, and one of the options is Reports in the upper bar. I'm going to select Reports, and I will see that all of the games that I have hosted are given a report, which I can select, and I'm going to choose a report that was actually taken by students during the semester so that you can see what one looks like. So I'm given a summary, kind of an overall summary of the game. 84% correct as a class, which was pretty good. There are different tabs for individual players in terms of what score they received. And then for individual questions to kind of maybe you've got a bad question in there that most people got wrong. So here's one where 41% of the people got it right. The majority of people got that question wrong. So I may want to adjust that question. And then feedback. One of the options at the end of the game is for students to submit feedback. They probably will not unless you encourage them to do so. But if they do record feedback, it would be recorded here. So reports gives you a quick and easy way to analyze how each class is doing with respect to whatever the material is that's covered by the quiz, both on an individual and a class-wide basis. Well, that was the basics of using Kahoot, both in terms of locating existing content through the Discover tab, creating your own content by clicking Create, looking at data on an individual and class-wide basis by clicking the Reports tab. There are many, many other options and features available at every stage of this, both in the free version and much, much more options in the pro version. The Kahoot website is pretty intuitive and easy to navigate, so you can explore the different options yourself. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you very much.